Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, good evening, viewers. How are we? Welcome to another edition of Live News. Stop the rot, sack the lot, and that's what needs to be done, and that's what we're all coming together for, guys. And the next few months, etc., are going to be very, very crucial in our time. As for the 1st of January, the CDC pops in, guys, where they can just no knocking on your door anymore. It's just walking straight in to do exactly what they want. And I can probably let you know that some of us people will be their targets. I think that's pretty understandable after we've listened to our mate from ASIO, Burgess, have a chat the other night. If you want to interpret that the way that I sort of interpret it, yeah, look out, guys. The heat's coming down. The heat's coming down on the Anglo-Saxon Christian, the way it's always been. But, geez, there's some Bible prophecies. There's some stuff coming together, guys. So, yeah, time for us to do exactly the same thing. So, while Caz is in the background doing a thing, I'll bring in Darren Bergsworth and Frank. And I don't know if Pen's dropped into the studio yet or not. Yep, she has. Okay, good evening, people. How are we? And how excited are we about the 11th at 11 a.m. and then continuing on from 1 o'clock that day? Darren, we'll bring you in first, mate.
Yeah, mate. Thanks, Dave. So obviously for me, the first part of the day is for everyone. I'm really hoping everyone in this country will take a day off. We're getting to the pointy end of this war that we're in at the moment. So take a day off and remember our fallen soldiers and all servicemen, really, that have defended what they believed were defending this country for the greater good and for us to have a free democracy and a free world. They sacrificed their lives. So to me, 10 o'clock, I'm going to be in there. 11 a.m. is all about remembering and respecting their efforts, their losses, regardless of why they were there and how they were used. We've got to put that aside. We just got to look at the courage that they showed and the commitment that they showed, believing they were defending their nation. And then from that moment on, we don't want to leave. We've done this every year, but then everyone goes home or goes to the footy or goes somewhere, or not the footy, or that's more Anzac Day. But, and they just leave it there. So it's all very well remembering and respecting their loss, but we've got to actually ramp it up this year. And that's why we're going to march to the Governor's gates in Melbourne, in the King's Lane, which is only about a 500-metre walk. And at 1:11 on the 11th of the 11th, we're going to kick off some speeches and bring forward the actions that Penny's put forward and been sharing all over the place, and start 11 days of action. Obviously, it's more than just 11 days, but to start with, we've got to get people motivated. We want to get people just on the same page. No groups involved. It's not about groups. It's not about personalities. It's not about individuals. It's about taking action and the right actions to defund, destabilise, and stop consenting to this mob. And then we've got a bigger plan after that. But the 11th for me is going to be massive. And I'm hoping every Australian will get behind this, regardless of what you think of me or my place or any other group. It's not about that. It's purely about remembering their losses and then showing the respect by starting to do something in your life, to spend the rest of the afternoon discussing what you're going to do, what changes you're going to make, so that their losses aren't in vain, basically. So I'll just leave it there and let the other guys
how we can barter, get together and have that conversation on how we can start bartering with each other, guys, and just pushing this system away, right, and relying on ourselves to be able to, fund ourselves, feed ourselves, and get through. Because, as I said, I'm a big legal guy, guys. All right, you know that. And what we were told to do was to endure and overcome. So to endure and overcome, we need to come together. We need to use our resources. We need to pool our resources, and we need to move forward because we are becoming a minority very quick. So between Frank and Penny, someone just asked who's the lady. The lady is Penny Johnson. She's with Dazza, like Dazza's right-hand girl or chick, whatever you want to call it. That's my lingo for my place, guys. So Penny's got a fair bit to do with what's going on the 11th also. She's going to be in Sydney with Frank and myself, and probably she'll be running the show. But, we'll be just having a chat, doing what we've got to do. I don't know what's going on up there, guys. It'll be totally organic again, but we've got good people up there. Know how to talk, know the theme. Yes, Caz?
No, well, I was just going to say, Penny put this together. Thank you, Penny, for putting face to camera.
Australia. On the 11th of the 11th, for 11 days, the people will be the power. This is your time to strike back against digital ID. For 11 days, no online shopping, no cards, no taps, cash only. Hit them where it hurts. The banks that build the tools and sell you the convenience. Boycott the supermarkets. Support your local farmers. The cash only businesses. It is time. Will you commit to not comply? Melbourne, meet at the Shrine at 11 o'clock, then walk to the Governor's. Sydney, meet at the Anzac Monument in Hyde Park, 11 o'clock, then instructions will follow. Meet at your city or town on the 11th for Remembrance Day. They fought for our freedom. We are fighting for our freedom again. Make them proud. Let's go, Australia. Download the flyers below, print, share and unite. Together, we will take a stand. 11th of November for the 11 days. We will not comply.
Are you serious about slowing the beast that is creating your demise, guys? Because that's what this is all about. And I think it's a great idea. I think it's come up at a great time. What a day to go and remember. And as I said, you start telling the truth, guys. This is, as I've told you before and explained to you, once I went out on a limb and praised my grandfather, my grandfather for being a rat at Tobruk and what he'd done, but actually told maybe the true narrative of the war, the bankers' war. Wow, was I persecuted, So, again, we've got a lot to educate people on, guys, a real lot, you know what I mean? But, this Remembrance Day, I'll bring Penny in now, but, guys, it's going to be about remembering the spirit that they fought with because we need that spirit to move forward. So, Penny, come on in, Doc.
Yeah, thanks, everyone, for
sharing the video out too. And it's not like me. I hate going live, like honestly, but I thought, okay, the team nominated me to do it. I'll give it a go. And, you know, look what happens. I just did one video and it's gone like nearly over 500,000 views, apparently, lots of shares. So 79
It would be more
million shares.
because it's been downloaded and reshared on multiple platforms as well.
Yeah, that's from the, you know, back office feedback I got. But, of course, it's going to be more, maybe 1 million views. So, you know, imagine if we all did a video. That's what I'd love to see. Everyone gets this message out before the 11th. We've still got time. And, you know, I mean, where did I sign the contract to pay to exist? Where did I sign that contract? Where did I say that I would pay for the rest of my life to drink water and to eat and to just live? No one did. So, you know, it's time that we get our act together and stick together on the 11th, go to the Remembrance Day, and then please stay behind afterwards. Don't take banners to the Remembrance Day either. Please do not do that, because we're not protesting that. We want to stick together afterwards. And then for 11 days or forever, we need to keep this going. And I've written a whole list of steps everyone can take. If you can only take 1 day off, do that. If you can take a week off, do that. If you could take 11 days off, like you've seen what's happened in Italy, everybody, they protested hard for weeks, and now no digital ID. So it does work. We've seen it work. If we just keep the pressure on in the big numbers, and then just keep hold of those big numbers until we get what we need. That's what we have to do. And I know Darren's working on a lot of things.
You can survive without the beast. The beast can't survive without you. Sorry, Penny, go.
That's right. And, you know, Darren's working with other teams to work on what happens afterwards, you know, when we get rid of this administration. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. But until we get the numbers, guys, it's not possible. So this is how we build. And then we do it again and again. I believe Madison King's put something up for the 10th of December. Let's just do it again. So, you know, that's the idea.
You know, it's funny because when the call first came to go to Canberra, there are a few ragtag bands that just went along. They were badly reported on. And then just suddenly people started drifting in. And it gained a life of its own. So it could be just a step. I know something's coming, and we had this discussion the other night with Franco. Like, there's too many signs there. You could see it almost with the March for Australia. The momentum and anger was there, and of course, then it got sidetracked with the you know, the Nazi boys and all that sort of stuff. So people withdrew their energy from that. But you can see that it's building, and also it's like it's got to be us first, because the sun rises first on us. We've got the Southern Cross at our backs, and we liberated. It was our boys, 800 of our boys, and that was in prophecy. That was in Isaiah. They would be a young nation. They would, and so that makes us the first fruits nation, and they would not be Well, they'd be free people. We're the only ones that didn't have conscription, so it has to be.
To stay off social media is the idea as well, guys, all right? But I can let you know, I'm off social media all the time. I've got no matter of that anyway. But I will be coming on at 7 o'clock at night for our 45 minutes to give you an update on what's going, because this is not only the 11th, we're going to have to be here to keep broadcasting on what's going on, keep people rounded up, you know what I mean, and keep moving forward, guys. So we'll be broadcasting throughout that 11 days. I can let you know that. But that's of showtime. Yeah.
And the thing is, too, I think the Commonwealth custodians have got an immediate, like, they've got the framework and everything. I think they can actually just step in. They've got everything organised to have a temporary government until the people are basically, you know, for a temporary time at least.
We just got to hit the banks. You know, the banks make about $4 billion annually on your card alone. So, you know, if we hit that for a week, we probably, they make about 120 to 150 million over 11 days. So imagine how much we can hurt them. You know, because the banks run the world, guys.
Yep. Frank.
Well, it is.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to get Frank in. He just hasn't even got in here yet. Go, mate.
Yeah, well, you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, we talk about draining the swamp, but we actually got to drain the corporations. And how we do that is by, creating these footprints in terms of removing ourselves from their system. And we've got to starve the beast, because right now, and I really feel personally, on a personal level, I genuinely believe that, they're at their own personal crossroads right now, because they know that the storm is actually about to hit them. But we can hit them even harder. This has got to be really, really kinetic right now. And I think it's important that everyone stands collectively on the 11th. It's so vital, because it's actually it's a footprint. It's our footprint for the first time ever. And it's almost like the footprint that our fallen fathers did when, the minute they stepped out of those trenches, right? They didn't know what their demise or their ending was going to be. But we've got a day that we can actually absolutely put a footprint and really start this momentum, start the drive, start the movement, and where we actually, drain the swamp, or more importantly, drain the beast and the corporations and the banking system, right? I mean, how much cash do they have to give out right now? I don't know. I'm just only guessing. But can I make a little shout out? Strangely, people ring me up. Trudy Clark from Mildura, an 80-year-old woman who loves the show, Dave, and she can't be there in Sydney, and she rang me out of the blue, and she's an avid watcher of the show. She loves all the stuff that we're all doing. And so this is a shout out to Trudy. And I actually said, look, if you know a small community, if people can't get to Sydney, this is a national movement. Yeah. You can do it in your own backyard. If you've got a place of remembrance, you got to show up anyway. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that is that everyone, if you can't make it to the capital cities, that you go to your local RSL or whatever it is, and forget about the connotations about what the RSL means or who runs the RSL. It's not about that. And people got to nitpicking at this kind of stuff. It's about the action that we're taking. So if people go to the local RSL, my place, Mildura, will welcome you in, no problem. We've got a pretty strong My Place up in Mildura. They've been pretty hard lobbying councils and that kind of stuff. So I know for a fact that Kylie and the crew will be going to the RSL, and they will be meeting up there. So, they can meet some new people in their town that they haven't met before, just on this one issue, and then have a chat, go away in the afternoon and start discussing what plans they can implement to make changes in their life and be dedicated to making a change and an effort to take your country back. So that's the whole thing. And if we can all come together on an issue, all the different groups, all the different personalities, all the different influences, it's not about any of that. If we can come together on this issue and start taking actions, whatever actions it is that you want, well, that could be the start of something. And then we look at the next thing we have common ground on, right? And we work towards having another action that we've all got common ground on. And Castle Law is another one that when they do come to your house, mate, all bets are off. They have no Castle Law is alive and well in this land, regardless of what anyone tells you. So if someone comes breaking into your house, you have every right to take whatever force you believe is necessary to stop them in their tracks. And there is no, I know 3 cases where the people that did that and actually took a life got off in court. It took a little bit of time, but they had every right to defend themselves, and we do too. And it doesn't matter who they're against. So, this is a starting point.
The jury of the peers, I think. I know of one case here in, I think I was told it was here in Wagga, and a jury of the peers basically and that's, I don't believe it's ever gone public, and I don't think many people know about it. I certainly asked about it, but I haven't been able to find anything official about it. Look, Wayne Glue, speaking of that, Wayne, it's not just our ideas, it's also other people's ideas as well. He's got the idea of this letter. I'll just play it briefly.
About to comment on only one thing said to me after yesterday's
Are they
video.
messing with you guys, or is it my
somebody said I should go to university. What would be the point in going to a university that teaches the lies and dribble that you're implementing on the people of this country? The fact of the matter is, I put together a letter. It covers every aspect of everything we've got to say.
Wow.
And I will actually read it to you, because while sitting here I can't read it off the page.
Oh, nothing. I can't hear anything. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Your first names of the family name living man or woman, do fully and without reservation rescind my vote both at state level and federal level for the following reasons. The voting system used does not conform to the authority given by our supreme law, being the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK and our 1901 Constitution derived from it. All laws must comply with the authority granted or they are void. You have failed to comply with our laws and our authority granted. Therefore, I fully rescind your right to sit in our Parliament. Remember, the supreme, absolute and uncontrollable authority remains with the people. We are supreme. Our authority is absolute.
He goes on for a little bit, but it was a very simple letter, and I think that it's probably something that could be very effective with that as well, you know?
Yeah, look, Wayne's all over it, mate. He knows his stuff like very, very, very well. There's a fair few people in Australia that do. All right, there's a lot of other stuff out there too, guys, still sitting in the background that we know about from the past, you know. But the timing's got to be right for those people to come out with a little bit of safety and expose it. You know, there's no use putting your head above the parapet and then getting knocked off. You know how people get Arkansas and Clintonized? Well, it's coming here too. Don't you worry.
The only thing with that is the Fruit Loops that have to rescind their vote too, and they probably won't.
It's true, but the thing is that the narrative is starting. You can see, like, we've played the narrative of how it's a corporation and the 73 thing the last couple of days, and you can actually see Nicola Charles has put this out about how church and state, the separation between church and state. We actually need a separation between the corporation and the government. Listen to this.
Need some fundamental new guiding principles, whether they be brought in as a constitutional amendment, which is huge, or via referendum, both. Just as historically human beings have had to separate church and state, we need to separate corporations and state.
The narrative started. Do you know how many years we've been plugging the 73 and what happened with, and how Australia is now it's actually starting to become but it's starting to become part of the narrative now, even among just the general population. It's gaining. So we're in the hunt.
Yeah, we are.
From 1933 right through to 1973, guys, they were just getting the extension cord out. It was 1973 when they actually plugged it into the wall and switched it on. All right. And that was our demise, guys. And that's one way to look at it. You know, they were just getting it all ready. And then as soon as they plugged it in 73 with your Lima agreement, man, you know, anyone my age knows your VA cars, your industry, your everything, guys, your tech, everything just started to demise.
Yeah, over the last 4 years, 5 years now, we've been teaching a lot of this in our law groups in the My Place communities. So now we're seeing it rising now. They're starting to understand and have learnt it, and hopefully it's snowballing and we're passing that forwards. And I think that's what we're seeing. A lot of the groups have been educating, and now here we are.
Yeah. Yes, Frank?
Yeah, Dave, we got a good taste of that, you know, growing up down the gong, you know, with BHP and the steelworks and whatever, and we saw, you know, how all that started to, you know, capitulate, you know, and you see all the townships, and then all of a sudden, you know, she just went really dark all of a sudden, you know what I mean? So they really sucked the life right out of the township by destroying, you know, all our industries, you know, and I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes, you know, and I saw the hope of a community just really, you know, just taking the guts right out of it, you know what I mean? So, well and truly.
We've got two Darrens.
No, Darren might have gone out and come back in.
No, we've got Darren. Have we got you?
Yeah.
You're muted.
Is he muted?
Yeah, that's better.
All right, we got you back. Okay.
Yeah, I know what, it sounded like you're all underwater on my phone. I couldn't hear you at all, so that's what I tried on the laptop.
No worries. All right.
We're just discussing how the 73, the theft or the creation of the Queen of Australia, And it's starting to become part of the public narrative now. The TikTokers have gotten a hold of it, and they're starting to put out information. Nicola Charles has said we need to have a separation. We had a separation of church and state. We need to actually have a separation of corporation and state. So, is, I think, the simplicity of that I love. And if we can actually all grab a hold of that and push it out into the narrative further, like, I just think we're in the hunt. At this stage, we're in the hunt.
Well, Unidroit and the Lima Agreement and all of those things that started even before that with the Nationality and Citizenship Act of 1948, where the United Nations came in as our trustee in bankruptcy on all territories since with the Yalta Agreement. And that's Freemasonry, right? The United Nations was changed from the League of Nations. It was set up by the Freemasons in San Francisco. So we have a foreign power. We've had a foreign power in this country for a long time, and they are trustee in bankruptcy of the United Nations. So, but what I don't know, I just don't know where people in the freedom movement are at. To me, they've lost the plot, or they're going backwards. Why everyone's been so nice and wanting to play by the rules when you've got a government that are trying to murder us? I mean, for fuck's sake, seriously, it is embarrassing how placid people in the freedom movement are. And now they're talking about Rennick and Hanson, and the amount, hundreds of thousands of people want Pauline Hanson as the next Prime Minister. So all I do is on her posts is share exactly who she's controlled by, like the rest of them. But people have to understand, and we've got to get this message out there loud and clear. There is no political answer in the system that we have. We're not going to get our country back through the ballot box. We're not going to get our country back through the courts. The only way we're going to get our country back is by mass non-compliance and building a mindset, building people's readiness financially, mentally, and spiritually to walk away and shut the system down sometime in the next 2 years. Now, if we can't start working on that project across the country and build, and like you said before, the custodians have got every seat filled. We don't need every seat for a temporary government. We only need 20 people to go in as a caretaker, and then to actually hold an election under the 1900 Constitution, common law, and put all your councils into caretaker mode, put all your state governments into caretaker mode. But we've got to develop that plan. It's not going to get built if we just keep whinging about the problems, because it's got nothing to do with digital ID. It's got nothing to do with the voice. It's got nothing to do with mass immigration. There's one source of all of those problems, and it is a foreign occupying, belligerent, organised crime syndicate called the Australian government that are colluding and racketeering with all of the other governments, the courts, the banks, all the so-called watch bodies and all the rest of it. They are racketeering, and Executive Order 13818 is going to come back and haunt these people. But we need to get people to start talking about locking the country down. That's the only way we can go peacefully, and we've got to build that before 2028 election.
We do. We got a lot of work to do, Darren, I think. But what we are seeing and what I am hearing is the community's waking up, and that's where it's up to us people to guide these people, you know, because they're waking up to a shocking, you know, sort of realization, aren't they, that, you know, they could have killed their kids. You know, they could have put cancer throughout their family. They could have done this. They could have done that. They're probably already signed and stitched into a digital ID. You know, so these people are waking up in all sorts of mayhem if they actually start to research and understand just where they are at the moment. You know what I mean? We have a bit of a different, we've been fighting this for a long time now. So our attitude and our game plan is totally different to the newbies we got coming in, and they need looking after, given confidence that we can do this, because we can. All right. And it's a numbers game. Okay. So that's why I'm pushing people to get out, right? Get your local street letterbox dropped. Then your street can wake up your little community, you know, your little bundle of streets, and then that can wake up your community. All right. But this is how we need to do it, guys. All right. It's simple. It's
I spent the day. Yep. Sorry, mate. I spent the day at the Kyneton Magistrates Court today. I was supposed to be meeting Brian Shaw out at Bacchus Marsh, and they weren't there. I got there early, so I went up to Kyneton. And this lady, it's been over 2 years. August 2023, she got done for being 37 over. She still walked out of the court today with her licence. We had 4 police officers and a judge and a clerk and a few others spent basically the whole day. And she still walked out with her licence. There was another couple in there on a case. and I had a chat and red pilled them. They both got jabbed because of their work. She's been sick ever since. So they know it was a poison. They've got other friends that have told them that. So the amount of people, but even the people in the freedom movement still don't know what action to take, right? They're still just identifying the problems and promoting and talking about the problems, but they're not enough people are still talking about what actions we need to take. And that's why, the 11th and defunding and walking away from the AFL, the NRL, stop supporting these multinational corporations. It's really simple. All it takes is a bit of discipline. It doesn't put you in harm's way. I swore off McDonald's 4 years ago. I don't shop at Coles or Woolworths or any of those stores, and it's just some discipline.
Exactly. Yeah, we're the same, mate. We don't shop at any of those places, mate. We just don't go near them.
Yeah, 100%. And we all need to be printing out those flyers like Craig Vine is doing an amazing job. He's out there every day, putting them on cars in the car parks. Like, just do what you need to do, guys.
Yeah, just get the word out there.
It's really vital too, Dave, is that, as I said, remedy only starts when we actually get off our asses and make it happen. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds a bit forward, but that's just how it is. Remedy's not going to take place if we're just sitting there and preoccupying ourselves with all the circle jerkers that are taken around the merry-go-round and actually not actually offering any solution. And I said that not too long ago. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm well and truly done with the bullshit. I want remedy. And I want action, more importantly. And when that's all said and done, I want fucking justice. You know what I mean? And so I don't care what order they actually come into. But, at the end of the day, it really requires our energy right now. It really does. We've got to stand up, for goodness sake, Yep. Yeah.
I think it is happening. A couple of things that we had against us was that Australia's majority introvert, so we don't like putting our faces on camera. I know Dave. The only reason why I'm here is because Dave actually, I just made up my mind that, anyone that's actually fighting, anything they ask me to do, I'll say yes to. And then Dave said, why don't you come on the show? And I'm like, yes. So the only reason why I'm here,
I know what you mean.
It's just a necessary thing at this stage. But the thing about introverts is that once they make up their mind and they turn around, man, they go hard and they go fast. And once they dig their heels in, there is absolutely no moving them. So I think that even though we're coming from behind in some respects, I think that it's going to be so hard and fast with us. It'll just happen almost overnight.
Well, I think it's being filtered. I think things are starting to happen. I think we're starting to see, who the players are, who aren't the players. You know what I mean? So it's coming. Yeah.
And we've got so much help from the Labor government and various other people in power. That's why I can't understand why people are getting their knickers in and not about all this shit. It's actually a silver lining. I love it. I want more tyranny. The more the better. The quicker we get to the bottom, rip the Band-Aid off and let's get it on like Donkey Kong. That's it. We're it's time to charge the gate, and all the shit that they're bringing in, stop being emotionally triggered by it. It doesn't mean shit unless you let it, and just get on with getting the job done and taking some action and not worrying about what they're doing. Worry about what we're doing. That's because we're still getting our attention. Or not we, but a lot of people are still in this circle, running around like headless chooks on every single issue that comes up, and they're not focusing on the job at hand, what they need to be doing. They're still being distracted by the game plan of the enemy.
Yep.
Yep. That's it. Well, they are helping us too. I just want to backtrack on that one, Darren, because you've got this situation. So Rob Smith put this out. So Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has spent more than $3.6 million on travel-related expenses in 2025. Can you believe it?
Meanwhile, there's people hungry and homeless on the streets. It's disgusting.
Yeah, we got 3 million that are, hungry every night. Exactly right, Penny.
Yeah. Well, and look at this. We've got, this is another one. This is a tender process. So $16 million tender jumped to $54 million. Oh yeah, let's put it out to tender. Oh, hello, they know exactly how much to bid. Oh, they're the cheapest. We'll give that to them. Oh, hang on, it's going to blow out 5 times. But
they're already in now. Yeah, they're already in now.
They're already doing it now. So
they are our mates, and they're part of the boys' club. So just hide the funds and just keep it flowing. That's how we do things here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the money laundering.
Yeah.
That's right.
But we've always known that. But we let it slide because we were left alone. And obviously for us, that changed in 2020. And it's changing for more people every day with a new issue that pops up. People aren't going to accept it anymore. And it's only through our strength and what we've done since 2020 and marching up the Westgate and the Union office and going to Canberra and you guys doing your show and everyone doing the stuff. It's reaching so many people. And now people are seeing strength in non-consenting, in standing up for your rights and going to court, questioning everything. So that's really gaining so much momentum at the moment that we've got to pick up on that momentum, all these new people, and make sure they get steered in the right direction. And that's not into People's Party or First Nation Party thinking about elections in 2028. This country is going to be well and truly screwed by 2028 on the off chance they might get one person in. So we've just got to take that narrative out of people's mindsets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
and we can try and break the algorithms as well. Have you noticed that the algorithms are sort of changing just this last week where, a lot of people couldn't even see my posts that were followers of mine. And I had like 98,000 or something of people that were non-followers, which is a good thing, actually, because there's new people being reached. I hope they're not all bots or some strange fake accounts. But I think you really do need to use your hashtags, everybody. And you can't do the 11. 11, apparently you can't use any sort of symbols or any abbreviations, so you have to use letters. But that's a way of getting around the algorithm. Everyone keep joining together by adding the same algorithms, the same hashtags. Yeah,
certainly.
Just put 2 twin towers next to each other with a dot in the middle.
Yeah, the dot, yeah.
Well, they're not there anymore.
Well,
or
actually,
a plane in the middle.
Have you seen that? I've actually got it for tonight. I might just play it because there's an awful lot of coincidences that happened with the deaths that have gone. Oh, did I load it? Maybe I didn't load it. But let me see if I can just grab it. But there's all of these coincidences that have kind of happened, and it's just let me have a look. There you go.
And how many coincidences?
Ritual continues. Let's get into it. Now, a multitude of things happened over the past couple days, starting with the death of the former Vice President Dick Cheney, who died on November 3rd, who was Vice President at the time of 9/11. Then we have the first Muslim mayor of New York City, Mamdani, winning the election. Then we have a plane crash, which was a UPS carrier that went down in Louisville, in which was flight 2976. Now, can anybody tell me how many victims, excluding the hijackers, died in 9/11? 2976. Same number. Now, that was on the FBI website, but if you go to Wikipedia, it actually says 2977. If you add Dick Cheney's death, he's that last person. Now, where did this plane crash? At the Muhammad Ali International Airport. Now, who did they say that was one of the hijackers responsible for 9/11? Khalid Muhammad. Coincidence? Let's keep going. Now, in that plane crash, the Louisville mayor stated that there was 9 people that got killed and 11 others injured. What? And this thing just keeps going because the type of plane it was decommissioned from the passenger service on October 26, 2014, in which from the time it went down, 9 days, 11 years. Now, going back to Mamdani, he was born October 18th, 1991. From that time to when Trump got inaugurated in office this year, it was 33 years, 3 months, and 3 days. You mean to tell me that the tower stood 33 years?
What a matrix, man. What a matrix.
It is.
That's hilarious.
It's a matrix. It's like there's just too many things that it's just
Well,
basically.
There was I think about 400 arrests too. I saw one of the senior sergeants talking today too on a TikTok. It was about 400 arrests and there was only 33 put in jail. How about that?
Yeah.
There we go again, 33.
They love that number, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Well, there was actually something else that was really interesting the other day that I didn't follow up on, and I meant to, but there was reports of various planes or various airports out not working, and that's right, there was a pilot and he was saying, I don't know why we're here, we can't move, and he's saying, look, I don't know what's going on. And then somebody put out that actually what's happened was there was a massive raid, ice raid. Was it an ice raid? No, it must have been a feds raid. And a number of them were arrested because they'd been involved in trafficking, and that's why there was no planes leaving, because there was a lot of the staff had been arrested, which sort of made sense. But I didn't follow up on it.
What I've been super impressed with since the Desi saga on the 26th of August is the amount of people just do not give a shit anymore about calling it out. I was really surprised actually how quickly people were onto that false flag and saying he didn't do it and all the rest of it. The police, it doesn't add up. People were just brutal, and then now the Port Arthur stuff's getting shared. So people have just dropped all fear about posting everything and anything, and not worrying about being a conspiracy theory or getting theorist or getting banned or anything like that. So that fear has dropped remarkably as well over the last little bit. So it's like so much in our favour at the moment. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't. Yeah, no, I'd actually agree with you. I think that we're certainly in the hunt. We're in a really good. We're actually in a winning position. If you think about it, it'll just take one thing to trigger, because we have the numbers, but we've always had the numbers, but not everybody who was educated. Now we have enough educated. We're organised. We have structure. We know who's who in the zoo, and we have the numbers. So we're in a winning position. And it'll only take a trigger. It'll take something, will spark, and that'll be it,
Well, that's why this 11th 11th is so important, because if we can all come together, all the people that have been against each other or whatever over the last few years, through whatever reason, if we can come together on this one issue, I mean, it could be the start of something really special. If we look for the next issue that we can all agree that this is an action we need to take just on the issue, not as a group, not supporting each group, but just the action itself. This could be something that unifies a lot of the groups that haven't really been unified, that are all been going in their own direction, and it's been fine. I didn't think that was the right way at the start, but I think it's been a good thing that everyone's been doing their own thing. But it's now time that we put everything aside and we started to coordinate our efforts and get on board with all actions that is going to destabilise and bring this government to its knees.
That's it.
Amen, brother.
We're being taken out by Rise Up. It's by Cliff Edge. And so if we'd like to go around in a circle, Franco, if you'd like to start, then Penny, then Darren, final words, and then Dave, if you can wrap up and close the show, I'll hit play.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, there's massive reiteration on the 11th. It's so vital right now. I really believe, that this is it. We can do this. There's no question about it. But we want numbers. We need, I want big numbers, and quite frankly, I think at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, and Darren's right as far as all the stuff that's been going on in the last 5 years and all the the sort of distractions and groups that have sort of led us astray. But all that aside, the reality is, right, we've got to all sort of, come together at this moment in time, right? We can, and you know what, there's plenty of time for a roundtable discussion. But right now, it's so vital that we actually bring it down. And we can, but we need the numbers to do it. And that's it. I don't care, what you've been doing in the last 5 years. I mean, we've got to have a common goal, and the common goal is to get our bloody country back. So that's my final parting words.
Thanks, Frank. Penny.
Yeah, everything you just said, Frank. And how long are we trying to get everyone together, Darren? It's been difficult. Rather than just segregating into different groups, we tried that from the September the 13th rally. There's always someone else that thinks, you're trying to do something to compete with theirs, and it's never the case. It's always been about coming together. Digital ID, It's going to be tracking every single thing you do. Your cash will be phased out, access to your own money conditional, medical history, financial data, and identity in one database, travel, healthcare, services tied to compliance. Like, digital is not a convenience, it's a global control system, guys. It's once introduced, you will no longer own your freedom. So it's very important that you do not comply and show your face. Join us on the Tuesday. We don't care, you know, take the day off. I will try and be in Sydney. If I'm not, I will be in Port Macquarie at our Remembrance Day here, because it is a long drive for me. But I'll try and be there, Frank. I'll do my best.
That's all right. The more the merrier.
Probs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said. Well said, Penny. Yeah, I think it's crucial, and the other thing I would say that people about telling us all we've got to come together, and something that the people in the freedom movement need to get their heads around. Not everybody that you've supported over the last 4 years, not everyone that you love, not everyone in the freedom movement is on our side. And, you know, it's all very well saying we've all got to come together, but there are people that are trying to take people down the wrong road in the wrong direction. And I believe now it is as clear as day that anyone that is hard pushing their agenda to be elected, let us vote me in, political talk, when we don't have an election for another 2.5 years, as far as I'm concerned, they are so off the mark that they need to be called out. Right, this is not time for political speeches. It's not time for politics or policy. We have to be laser focused and steer every conversation back to the source of all the evil, and that is a foreign occupying organised crime syndicate called the Australian government, and they are racketeering and colluding, enforcing slavery, usury, committing war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, democide, a malfeasance in public office, breach of trust law every day that they open their mouths, realising that they're in positions of trust as being parliamentarians. And if they make one decision that is not in the best interest of us, the beneficiary, they're in breach of trust law. And that's a serious indictable offence. So they're committing so many crimes on a daily basis. People need to get their heads around just how corrupt and criminal the system is. And if you still believe that you can go in there and work in that system to make a difference, you're delusional, or you're part of the trying to keep the circuit going. And that's what I'm calling people out really hard now, that you're basically controlled opposition. We're at a fork in the road. We're either going to go back and do this eternal loop of hopium of trying to vote someone in that's failed for the last 60 years, or we're going to take this country in a direction it's never been before. And I'm all for taking the country in a direction it's never been before. And I think more people are going to get on this page over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, as more tyranny comes down from the government and more evidence comes out, that we will have the vehicle that's going to take this country back. And it's not going backwards in the election system. So I'll leave it at that for now. And I thank you guys for having us on tonight and supporting this cause. And I thank Penny for all her great work that she does keeping My Place Australia operating, because I've been a bit absent, and good to be working with Franco as well now. So cheers.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Daz. And look, after these guys have just wrapped up and told you exactly, the issues that we've got there, between, Frank, Penny and Daz, all I got to say to you people is have a think about your forefathers, all right? And get a bit of their gall and grab their balls, okay? Because this is no time to be scared, guys. Being scared about putting your fucking head out there is way gone, all right? What you want to be scared about right now is your children's fucking future and your future and your freedoms and your liberties and your health, okay, and everything else that these people have just explained to you, all right? So what I'd like to part you with, guys, is not a time to be scared. This is a time to stand up, all right, and stand in the Anzac spirit and walk forward. Good night, guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Great show.
Thank you.
Rising costs, they're stacking like bricks, while the system's rigged, playing its tricks. We've got the power, we've got the drive, searching for hope, it's how we survive. In the alleys, on the streets, hear the whispers grow loud. United we stand, breaking free from the the crowd. So rise up, stand strong, hear the battle cry. We're the change, we won't comply. In this tribe of truth, we're forging our way. Together we'll fight, we're here to stay. Those on the sidelines, they laugh and tease, blindly obeying, just living on their knees. With every headline, they eat up the lies, while we're tearing down their masked disguise. We found our tribe, our love runs deep, while the rest stay asleep. We're awake and we leap. Corruption's the game, but we're pulling the string. Time to dismantle the cage they bring. So rise up, stand strong, hear the battle cry. We're the change, we won't comply. In this tribe of truth, we're forging our way. Together we'll fight, we're here to stay. 5 years of chaos, the curtain is drawn. We've seen the darkness, but now it's our dawn. Let them mock, let them scorn, they don't know our fate. While they chase the dollar, we break down the gate.
Systemic corruption is a beast we'll slay. With voices of thunder, we're lighting the way. The media's puppets, they don't see the light, but we're rising like phoenixes ready to fight. In this constant struggle, in this wild ride, we're tearing apart the veil, no more to hide. In our hearts there's a fire, a passion, a spark. Together we'll shine brighter, lighting up the dark.
So rise up, stand strong, hear the battle cry. We're the change, we won't comply. In this tribe of truth, we're forging our way. Together we'll fight, we're here to stay. Let them live in their tribe, it's their masquerade. We're cutting the tide.